So this video right here, it's kind of like an homage, I guess. It's not so much a review. This thing came out 30 years ago, actually a little bit more than that. It came out in 1989, the original Game Boy. And I bought this. This right here it was very special for me growing up. I got mine probably about 1993. I had a cousin, had some friends that had them. I mean, that was the coolest thing back then. You had the ability to play video games on the go, and it's kind of funny because if you look back to where gaming technology was back in the late 80s, early 90s, you had this, you had the Atari Lynx, you had the Sega Game Gear, and you look at where things went with smartphones. We have wanted portable technology for a very, very long time, and this right here is one of the things that started it all. 1989, we're long, long time ago. Some epic titles for this, and I got a couple of my favorites. So this one, of course, I had to get Super Mario Land 2, and I had this whenever I was a kid. I got it whenever it first came out, saved up my birthday money, and I bought that. And I got a couple other ones, Micro Machines. I totally love this one. Play Action Football, probably the only football game I've ever actually enjoyed playing, other than Madden 95, which I had for this as well. And then we have this guy right here, which is Pokemon Yellow. I had the Pokemon Blue first when it first came out. And what's funny is even now, Pokemon, I think, came out in 96, maybe 97. Came out a long time ago. The special Pikachu edition, Yellow, came out later on. It wasn't one of the original titles. It was the original Game Boy Pokemon, but they added this playable Pikachu character that would follow you around on the screen and you get to start with. So I've always loved this. And at the time, it wasn't the most technologically advanced. So when you take a look at this, it's not even a color screen. There's no backlight. Like, this is what you see is what you get. This is a dot matrix screen, and it had a lot of screen blur. It wasn't the most attractive screen in the world, but it was good back then. And when I got this, I've actually been having a hard time playing some games on it. You have to have basically direct light on this. Otherwise, you can't really play it because the screen is too faded. It basically just has these black pixels, and they pop up, and it creates the image. But as you move, it kind of makes things a little blurry. And also, you really, really have to have direct lighting. If not, it really puts some strain on your eyes. And I actually have a terrible, funny story. So when I got Super Mario Land 2, which this guy right here, one of my most favorite Game Boy games of all time, I got it. I was playing it on my couch. Like, I stayed up late. I was always an insomniac, still am today when I was a kid. And I was sitting on my couch next to my lamp playing this all night long till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And it gave me such tremendous eye strain. I woke up the next day. I had this horrible, horrible, intense migraine-like headache. And I was basically spent my entire next day, my actual date of my birthday, and the following day incapacitated on the couch. So, I mean, worth it, I guess, YOLO. The Game Boy itself, very simplistic. You've got just the 2 buttons here, very similar to the original Nintendo controller. You got A and B, select and start, and you got a high quality D-pad. And I will say, these things held up really, really well. Like, solid quality hardware, never really had any problems with it. You got stereo sound, not stereo speakers. You have one speaker underneath this little grill here, but actual stereo sound. And it worked pretty good. You could even plug in headphones. There's a headphone jack on here. It is down there on the bottom. I don't have the earbuds. Always wanted them, and then I got them when I was a kid, and they were so rigid and one size fits all, they hurt my ears like crazy, but I would use them anyway. And they were like a little red connector on one and a blue connector just below the earbud on them, so you know which one was left and which one was right. And then the power plant they used, 4 AA batteries. I think they're supposed to be rated for about 14 hours. I don't know if I ever got 14 hours. It's funny looking back at this. Batteries were such a commodity. Like, batteries are a dime a dozen now. You can go to the dollar store and go get a 4-pack. But back in the day, we didn't have a lot of batteries. And my parents would mostly get mad at me and my siblings because we would steal them from the remote controls for the TVs all the time. You would need the AA batteries. And with 4 fresh ones, I guess, yeah, it would last you maybe 14 hours if you didn't have the sound on. Oddly enough, when you were playing, the little battery indicator would come on, or it would start flickering and kind of get less dim to let you know the batteries were getting weaker. If you turn the volume off, it would actually give you more juice to continue playing. Very similar principle to what people do with Teslas nowadays. You get your overall mileage, and then the more electricity, more features you use, more electricity it uses. So if you have the AC on blast, if you have the heated seats on, that stuff drains your overall mileage that you can get out of one charge. So same principle here. Totally love this thing. I had probably, at the height of my Game Boy playing, about 25 games. I had a lot of great ones. Micro Machines, Play Action Football, Tetris, Jeopardy Sports Edition, Paperboy, John Madden 95, Dr. Mario, Mario Land 2, Wario Land. Like, Wario Land was a great game too. I've got some more that I ordered that I can't wait for them to get here so I can play them. I got this, I think I paid about $170. Got it through the Amazon Renew program, so it actually comes with a 90-day warranty. If anything goes wrong with it, I can send it back. But I wanted to make this video. They even had the little serial port connector over here on the side. I've actually got the cap, but I took it off for the video because otherwise I'd be sitting here for like 5 minutes trying to pop it back off again. Not the easiest thing to get off of here. But you could play, so like if you had, like with Pokemon. So if you played Pokemon, you could play with somebody else and you could battle, you could trade. You would have to have both Game Boys, the serial port cable, connect it, fire it up. There were actually some multiplayer games. So it was really, I think, ahead of its time when it came out, even though not necessarily the most sophisticated on the planet in regards to the color, the screen size, all that stuff. It really hammered in on the quality of games. The Game Boy and Nintendo just had such good games, and I really wanted to make this video. And yeah, it's probably not going to get a lot of views. This video is not for views. This is look, I love this. I know some of you guys seeing this, it brings back a lot of memories. We all played these things. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, maybe even your late 20s, you probably played one of these. They even had smaller ones. They had the Game Boy Color. They had the Game Boy Pocket. They had the Game Boy. There was a couple different versions. They had the clear one, the purple clear one. They got kind of crazy with things. The only real thing that I wish I had on this one is the backlit screen. That Game Boy Color had the backlit screen, and it made it where you could play it pretty much wherever. And it was a much better experience, much better on the eyes too. I am very susceptible getting eye strain with all this motion blur in these. Also, you could plug in an adapter, which was key. We had these things. I remember when my parents got me one for Christmas, and it was like a complete game changer. Because then I didn't have to worry about stealing batteries all the time. And I finally convinced my parents, like, look, if you buy this $30 adapter, I won't steal the batteries anymore. So they finally got me one. I think it was for Christmas. But this was an epic game console, and it was mine. Like, when we first got our Nintendo, like in 1988 or whatever, my brother, it was for him. My grandmother bought it for him for a present. And you know, when you're kids, you're possessory about everything, very possessive. The Nintendo was his, so it was always like, oh, well, I'm mad at you, you can't play my Nintendo. And then I got my Game Boy, and then it was mine. It was like my own game collection, my own handheld. And yeah, it was a really cool thing. And I'm glad that they made it. I'm glad that it endured for so many years. It's not like now where you get a console and like 3 or 4 years later it's dead. The Game Boy platform, I think, had something like a 12-year run, 10-year run. It was a long time they made games for this. So, I don't know. I just wanted to make this video, show it off so you could see it. Maybe you've never seen a Game Boy before and you're like, what is old man here talking about? But I'm fairly certain if you're watching this, you probably had one. You might have had two. You've probably had a Game Boy Color, whatever. Your friends, everybody had one. These were the coolest things back in the 90s. And really iconic piece of hardware. So, yeah, I just want to make this and show it off for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I just felt so enthusiastic about it. I mean, I know I always make videos about phones and everything else, but I love video games. I love all electronics. And I just wanted to take the time to make this dedicated video to show off the good old Game Boy and relive some of these nostalgic memories. And, I mean, gotta love the chime there, right? So that's all I've got in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it brought back some nice thoughts and feels and memories from a better time than now, I guess. But hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. I don't know, tell me, what were your favorite games? Which Game Boy did you have? And I don't know, if y'all want to see more of this stuff, I did a poll recently where I was like, hey, yeah, I've got the, let's make some more stuff this year. What kind of videos do you want to see? And a lot of people picked retro tech, so retro gaming stuff. Maybe I want to see more of it. But anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.